Oh, you see that?
Is that like artifacts?
Oh, look at that artifacts like crazy.
Hey guys, it's Max.
Angelika.
And Vadim.
And as you guys know, the iPhone 13 Pro and Pro Max have insane cameras, but can they keep up with a Pro camera with dedicated lenses? Today, we will find out.
Make sure to grab a piece of paper and a pen. Definitely play along with us on this one because it's going to be a lot of fun. We would love to know your results in the comments.
And we actually did this video before with the S21 Ultra and a Pro camera, and the results were very interesting, but this time, the iPhone 13 Pro's camera actually destroys the S21, so this
killed
is
it.
very interesting with this test.
And I actually had to go and get one lens for the wide and the zooms, and I had to get a specialty manual lens to have wide angle with macro capabilities. So we're gonna look at these images blind. And as you guys suggested, all of these photos are taken with RAW. We have the Pro RAW with Apple, we have RAW on the camera, we have the cinematic mode and S-Log graded to make each camera look its best. So this is gonna be insane. Let's start out with this first image right here. Which one looks better?
For this first one, the difference is crazy and you can instantly tell which is which. I really like the depth of the Pro camera because her hand is out of focus rather than all of her.
Yep, and I did notice actually that the iPhone messed up the blur right here to completely miss that, so it's pretty obvious.
Yep.
Yep.
You guys are correct. Here's the next one. This is gonna be a little bit tougher. What do you guys think?
Wow, this is so close. I actually have to like look up close.
Get even
Wow.
closer.
They're very
Oh yeah, this
similar.
is tough. This is very similar, but I have a feeling that I like the one on the right better. I think it did a better job with kind of more texture and detail visible. Oh,
iPhone 13
what?
Pro.
Looks good.
How?
The ultra wide got a lot better this year.
Wow,
a
that's
lot
good.
better. Here's our third shot.
Okay, portrait. Wow, this is very, very close. All right, this is another one where you got to look. Oh man.
They're extremely similar. The detail, everything, they both look amazing.
And when you look at your photos, are you gonna look that close
No.
when they're on your phone?
So I'm actually going to be choosing the one on the right for one reason. It does a better job with the highlights. If you look at the hair, it's not as blown out, whereas this kind of has blown out hair and on the side of the face. This is more kind of, I guess, range of, I don't know, brightness. I don't know how to explain it.
I'm
Skin
also
tones.
going with the right, but more because to me the blur looks more natural and I kind of like it.
All right. iPhone 13.
Jeez.
The crazy thing, this is the new telephoto lens, which we love. We love that 3x lens, and all that blur is fake. Everything's actually in focus. So
No
all the
way.
nice, how it disperses the blur and the depth looks really good.
Wow.
All right, what about some food, guys?
I'm going to go with the right.
Are you sure about that? Is this your final?
I think because like there's some issues with like overexposure right here with these, what are they? Clams?
Yeah, to me, they look so similar, it's insane.
Yeah,
it is insane how
so
similar.
close.
They
Yeah.
I was actually going to
Wow.
go with the right as well because I see
Okay.
a lot more contrast.
Right.
A7SIII.
Okay.
Thing is, you can add contrast with any of them too. All right, what do you guys think about this? Look at that bokeh.
Wow.
Wow.
Wow, okay, the one on the left
on the left.
obviously kills
Yeah.
it. Like, look at that beautiful, beautiful
That's really
bokeh.
nice.
And like everything pops, and I think these, whatever the sculpture is, it's kind of pops out more. It's more sharp.
I was gonna say that
That
I
looks
thought the
good.
iPhone would fail in this instance. This thing was so far away, up in the air. You
that's
have
good.
all these blades that need to be cut out. You have all the background. How can an iPhone make fake blur that looks that good? Actually, I don't even know which one it is in this case. I completely forgot. But
Well,
both-
let's see.
A7S3. And here we have a macro shot.
Macro shot.
I got close as the one of the lenses allowed me to get.
Yeah, the one on the right
Interesting, the one on the
obviously
right.
kills it. Like it separates from the background
Yeah.
with the blur in the background, just totally better.
There you go. You guys are right. That is the Pro camera again. And it's tough because with these Pro cameras, you have such a large sensor that I actually did stop down to match these as close as I could. You still get that blur, which you don't with the iPhone. And the next one is video. So as you guys know, I did shoot video for this. I shot the ProRes cinematic. And that takes up a lot of battery life. So in order to charge up your phone, we have a sponsor for this video. Finally, we have Anker. We've been recommending them for years now. Here you guys go, check these out. These are their new 511 chargers. They're Nano Pro. It is 45% smaller than Apple's 20-watt charger.
Tiny.
A lot smaller. Same size as the 5-watt brick, but it charges your phone 3 times faster than that. So you get full fast charging. You guys get these awesome colors. They actually have 4 colors, and they have these matching cables. Check these out and feel these for yourselves. I pulled these out of the box. They feel amazing.
They're so smooth.
And the quality is really nice as well. So I've been buying Anker for years. Vadim has been buying Anker for years. They have Active Shield to monitor the temperature and protect your device. So charge it fast and make it last with Anker. Go and check these out down in the video description below. Pick one up, charge your phone fast. Don't let video shooting kill your battery. Charge up quickly.
I want one.
Thank you,
These are so
Anker.
cute.
We love you guys. And yeah, check them out. And now let's go ahead and check out this video clip.
Weird.
What do you guys think? How is that cinematic mode?
Interesting. It's like the minimal focusing distance or something. But man, this is so obvious. Like you can instantly tell that it's fake blur here on the left. And I don't know what's going on with the dynamic range. Like his skin is literally
so
flat.
Yep.
Everything's flat and gray. Wow.
So
Yeah, still not.
this is probably the most obvious one. We have cinematic mode on one, and we have the Pro Camera on the other. Which one are you guys choosing? Just make sure you guys make a choice. They're right.
They're right.
All right, there you go. That is the Pro Camera. Yeah, the cinematic mode. It looks like not only is it limited to 1080p, it doesn't do that HDR shots when it's doing cinematic mode. I don't think, because look how terrible it looks. So in this situation, it just looks like garbage. All right, let's get into another photo. This is a portrait shot here with the wide.
All right, so in this photo, I'm definitely going with the one on the left because I feel like it's more lively and it kind of like pops, like the skin kind of glows and you have like the contrast of colors like in the grass.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. One of the biggest differences for me that I noticed is that the one on the right like distorts a lot, especially in the faces. They definitely look
the face looks a lot different, huh?
Yeah, that's true. Okay.
That is the Pro Camera. And another thing I didn't mention is that this is also a 12 megapixel camera. So I matched it up to the iPhone, so there's no difference, I guess, in that. All right.
For me, I instantly like the one on the left just because of the depth.
I would say that I agree. Yeah, I like how the bowl is kind of more out of focus, blurred out. And these kind of glasses, they really kind of pop.
That is the Pro Camera again.
Pro Camera.
And I actually stopped down to I think like F16 or something.
Oh wow.
Because at F2.8, everything's blurred out.
Blurry.
But the iPhone's 3X
looks
lens,
good.
it actually, unless you're using portrait mode, you don't get any blur at all, even here. But I don't know if you guys noticed the dynamic range difference. It actually pulled that out.
Oh.
Which, but that shot looks better, absolutely. And now we have a 3x zoom shot.
All right, in this one, I am definitely choosing the one on the right. I really like how the color tones pop out. Like you got like these orange trees over here, and the one on the left kind of keeps everything super flat.
I feel like you can also see a lot more detail on the one on the right.
Yeah, that's interesting because they're both 12 megapixel, so it's not resolution, it's just maybe lens differences. And you guys once again chose the Pro Camera. And take a look at this shot right here. I won't explain much, but you guys tell me what you think.
It's over sharpening to the extreme on the left. Wow.
Yeah. Oh, definitely the one on the right.
Yeah, definitely the right. Like it's much more natural looking without the over sharpening.
At least blur over
more
here.
detail everywhere. Yeah.
And that one is the Pro Camera once again. So this shot right here is actually 15 times zoom on both. That's the most that the iPhone can zoom in. So I actually had to do cropping later with the Sony. And you just see the lens, how much sharper the lens is, bringing in that extra detail. Looks more realistic. Here's another portrait shot.
All right, and this one, I'm looking at them and I think I would rather go for the one on the right. I feel like the one on the left is a little bit kind of flat looking, and I really like the blur and just the bokeh look on the background on the right, so I'm going with that one.
I think the one on the right is the iPhone, just because, once again, like the distortion for portrait mode. However, I do think it looks nicer. I like back here how it's not as blown out, it's not as like crazy in your face. It looks really nice and soft. Yeah, that looks really good.
Angelika, you are correct. That is the iPhone. It did an amazing job, and that dynamic
really
range
good.
there, that sunset looks way better than just the harshness there.
Blown out.
And you guys don't see that this was in the shade, like really dark shade, but I edited these to look their best.
So good.
And we got another portrait here.
I'm gonna go for the one on the left for this one.
I think I agree. So one thing that I noticed was, if you look at the light on her face, it looks very flat, and the skin tones are lacking.
Pro camera once again. One thing I
camera.
didn't mention, look at the distortion on her head compared to here.
Once again,
So you gotta be so careful on the iPhone with that wide angle standard camera when you do portraits like these, because it can distort the image. And now we got a portrait selfie.
Honestly, these both look pretty good. I'm gonna
Yeah,
go with the one on
pretty good.
the left because there's just a lot more detail. But the one on the right looks pretty darn good.
Yeah, they both do an excellent job. And I agree with Angelika. I'm going with the one on the left for a couple of reasons. I see more kind of texture, and there are some weird little things around hair where you can notice like little messes up with the
Little
portrait
bit.
mode. So
Yep.
left for sure.
You guys got the Pro camera again. You guys have really good eyes, incredible eyes. I'm really curious to hear what the audience has to say. I would just want to point out that that bokeh, like that looks better bokeh to me. Nice, smoother, less distracting than over here. Even though the edge cutting out isn't correct. And even though you guys are choosing the iPhone, the Pro camera often, it's incredible how the iPhone's doing.
Oh yeah.
Ultra wide shot here.
Wow. Ooh, the one on the right for me. Just because of the dynamic range.
Yeah, I do agree. The one on the right, you see kind of more texture. It's not like blown out-ish on the wood, as well as the sky, and the highlight roll-off on her face does better
yeah.
too. So
That is the Pro camera again. And even though the ultra wide got better this year, it seems like the dynamic range on the ultra wide is not as good as the standard camera. So that's why I was not able to recover that, even though it was Pro RAW.
interesting.
And here we have another video. Both of these, this is an insanely difficult situation. Super bright sun, really dark shadows where we're in hiding inside of trees. Go ahead and watch it.
Oh, you see that?
Is that like artifacts?
Oh, look at that
What is that?
artifacts like
Yeah.
crazy. Wow, it's literally like noise everywhere.
The whole time.
All over the whole thing. Yeah, the one on the right is very clean and much more detail in the
detail.
trees too, so yeah, the right kills it.
Yep, so that one is the
Yeah.
Pro camera.
Pro camera.
Now, it did blow out the sky more so.
Yeah.
So the iPhone really tried to get that dynamic range, and because of that, it had a lot of noise and artifacts.
artifacts,
Whereas the Sony here, this was actually S-Log3. I graded it myself.
Okay.
I chose to properly expose this, and so your dynamic range is actually worse, but the image is a lot better. And here's another portrait shot for you guys. And this is a tough
Interesting.
one.
Wow.
If you guys have to look for that long and that close, I say that's a win for the iPhone.
It's definitely a win. Yeah, these are both super similar. I'm going with the one on the left because it looks a lot more natural. Like you can tell in a couple spots on the right that it's using portrait mode, but
Yeah, and a year or two ago, this would be a nightmare.
It'd be
And it'd be
horrible.
garbage.
yeah.
messes up everywhere.
You got the Pro camera again. And here is an
Wow.
ultra wide shot. Crazy dynamic range, sun peeking out behind the trees.
Wow, okay.
I feel like I see a lot more detail on the left, but dang, these both look really
look amazing.
similar. They both look so good.
I have to confess and say that a lot of these shots, I thought the iPhone would look way worse. Like way worse compared to RAW and editing them to look the best. It's just shocking to see
So similar.
what the result was.
Yeah,
Interesting,
crazy.
Pro camera.
So similar.
You guys have
though.
eagle
Wow.
eyes. Eagle eyes. But yeah, so I guess the ultra wide could still use some work on the iPhone. And now we got a portrait shot right here. Crazy tough situation, like the toughest you could do.
They both do very well. That's interesting. Like literally leaves are in the air.
Flying.
It's hard.
That is impressive.
I really like how everything is so blurry in the back and all these leaves are like they really stand out. And they seem like
Yep.
the kids are in focus more to me.
Yeah, honestly, I'm gonna go with left. Like I like the extra depth of field and like
Yeah.
your kids really pop out in the photo and just I like
It's
the
good.
bokeh,
That is the iPhone. We
the
got
iPhone.
one for the iPhone.
That looks so good.
That's the bokeh, the fake
Wow.
bokeh, because everything's actually in focus. it looks amazing.
That's so
way
good.
better than this real bokeh that's a little bit distracting and harsh.
Uh-huh.
Now, one issue I had, like we spent like 5 minutes taking this photo,
Oh,
like
wow.
over and over. When you take a portrait shot with the iPhone, it always lags behind, like a second after you press the button. So even though I press the button exact same time, you know, that's the result. It just kind of gets a little annoying. All right, we got another portrait shot here with a 3x lens on both.
Honestly, like I'm looking at these, I'm going with the one on the left. I really like how the leaves are not blurred out and the skin tones, much better job here. Like everything's just so natural, just rolling off.
I'm going with the right, but honestly, I would be really happy to have either of these.
Yeah, I was shocked by how good this was, and also a lot of these we're not mentioning edge issues because there are none. The iPhone just got insane at
really
cutting
good.
out.
Yeah.
There you
Got
go.
another iPhone.
Yes, and we got this flag shot.
Okay. Wow, once again, no blur issues here.
Dude,
That is
these-
No
good.
issues.
Wow.
It's insane.
These look like pretty much the same photo. Like they look the same.
Yeah, it's so close.
One costs you $1,000 and you get a whole phone.
Yeah.
The other costs you $5,500 and you don't get a phone.
I can't pick. I seriously can't. They
can't?
they look the same to me. Like,
Yeah.
how can you have
Oh,
a preference
man.
of one over the other?
Okay, I do have one preference. I am gonna go with the left because I do notice some really nice bokeh balls all around this tree. I really like that.
All right, so let's see which
Left.
bokeh balls you prefer, iPhone
Okay.
or Sony. Sony.
I
And this is like the toughest portrait situation for any phone, and
Yeah.
even cameras. It's very hard.
I mean, the
Wow.
left.
yeah.
Yeah, just so much better. The one on the right just suffering from so much flaring that just makes everything gray. Left for sure.
Sony, you got nice coatings on those nice optics.
Super nice.
If not for the flaring, they'd be like the same.
And this shot right here, we have crazy dynamic range, super shadows with super bright sunset.
I mean, I've got to
Wow.
give this to the one on the left. It doesn't have as much flaring, and I do feel like you have a brighter kind of shadows, like with the truck. The white really stands out more, so
I am too, just because of the sky and the sun. But other than that, they literally look the
very
same
close.
to me.
You guys chose
iPhone.
the
Wow.
iPhone. So last
Wow.
shot, we had more flaring with the telephoto lens, but with the standard lens, look at all the flaring here, right? You have all these lines, where now the iPhone's really struggled in the past. That
Oh, yeah.
flaring has been so minimized. And now we have this handheld shot
Whoa.
okay.
of the dark. And it was literally pitch black for this photo.
I mean,
Wow, it's crazy.
here, oh man, so you see more stars here, but just so much motion blur on these trees. They're just really smeared. Whereas on the right, you have much more detail in the trees here, trees in the background, everything more detail. I'm going for the right.
I'm
right.
absolutely going for the left. I think that one looks way nicer, even though it doesn't look as detailed and like motion blurry, whatever. I'd much rather have that.
There you guys
iPhone
go.
again.
So Vadim chose the iPhone.
Yeah.
Of course, we have the night mode where it's
really good.
literally taking 10 seconds of images. It was so dark, stacking them. And on the Sony, I had to use so much noise reduction. I took a bunch of photos, tried to get the minimum shutter speed to minimize ISO. It was way harder than just pressing a button.
Yeah, press the
And a
shutter.
lot of editing too. And this is a 3x shot that night.
Yeah, this is definitely the one on the right. Look
There's
at
a lot of noise.
massive amounts of noise here and in the lawnmower and just the over sharpening. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yep, the Pro Camera, that 3x lens does not do that great at night. And we have another video with low light scenario, so let's take a look.
All right, right off the bat, I'm seeing more kind of color roll off with that light bulb. It's really bringing the colors out. I'm seeing a lot of noise on the left and just more detail in general on the right. So definitely choosing the right.
Yeah, and I'm noticing a lot more depth on the right one as well.
All right, that is
Pro camera.
the Pro Camera. And this is actually the best case scenario with the standard lens shooting ProRes, not the compression. It'd be way worse if it was not ProRes.
On the iPhone.
That's
okay.
the new lens with the f1.5, so like the other lenses would be worse. And now let's get into some night mode shots. So here you guys go.
All right, this is a very interesting one. I'm seeing some differences. I kind of feel like the one on the left has more visible detail, which is
Yeah.
really nice. However, a lot of the highlights are completely blown out. Like this whole thing looks like a bar
Yeah.
all the way around, and that yellow color at the top is completely white, whereas the yellow actually pops out here and just roll off of Yeah, so this is tough.
I'm going with the one on the left, but both of these are very, very similar.
I'm gonna go right.
And this is the ultra wide, which
Yeah.
suffers more,
Interesting.
whichever one's iPhone.
Ooh, I chose the iPhone.
So Vadim chose the iPhone.
It did good.
I like how
And-
it does, yeah.
Yeah, stacking 10 images or
It's
so
good.
really helps out. And here we have another shot.
Ooh.
What do you guys see?
Whoa, weird.
I mean, it's gotta be the right. I mean, look at it. It actually brings out the colors and the glow of that sign and so much more detail everywhere. Like, look at this whole thing, all that texture. Easily
Yeah.
the right.
I mean, I was gonna say how like I liked the sign more, just how it's like it pops out a lot more, but all the detail and everything else, yeah, the right.
And the right is the Pro Camera. And it's interesting in this shot, you see jaggedy edges, not a lot of detail. The iPhone's actually using the main camera cropping in now instead of a 3x lens, which is what the shot was. And we have this beautiful night mode shot.
Ooh, wow, okay. That's impressive. They're both so
Yeah.
close, but I am seeing some differences. There is more detail on the one on the right. Like if you look at this pavement, more texture, more detail. And on top of that, it does better with dynamic range if you look at all these crazy bright lights inside the building. So easily the right.
I'm going with the left. I think the left one looks a little nicer actually.
All right, so Vadim chose the iPhone, Angelika chose the Pro Camera, the Sony. Yeah, with that night mode,
That's killer.
I could not, even taking a raw photo, manipulating it, I could not get the same amount of detail because you have denoising, you have to do all that. So
good,
if you
yeah.
can't stack a bunch of images like the iPhone is, you can't maximize that dynamic range and detail, which is crazy. And now we have another one here with the 3x lens.
Same thing as before, a lot more detail in all the concrete and like look at that sign, My Fresh Basket. You can actually see the color and it's much more sharp.
I'm still going with the one on the left for me.
Same thing, we got the iPhone for
iPhone.
Vadim, the Pro Camera for
Honestly,
Angelika.
killer job, iPhone. Apple, you guys
Yeah.
are crazy.
And we have a nighttime portrait shot here.
This is tough. I'm gonna go with the right just
so
because
close.
I feel like there's more depth to it. But they're both very, very close.
Yeah, I'm also going with the one on the right. I like the detail and I like all those nice bokeh balls on the outside with those lights. Looks really good. And there's no motion blur like on the face where there is here, like some weird softness motion blur.
Oh, it also messed up a little bit here, but
Good eyes, guys, very good eyes.
Yeah, so.
And we got a portrait
Oh.
shot.
Oh.
wow.
Yeah, I
right.
mean, yeah.
Yeah, you
You
can tell.
don't even have to.
You can tell.
It's the right.
And that's the
course.
best I could get it to be edited. It's just
Wow.
when you're doing portrait,
The one
all
on the
that
right.
computational photography, and you don't get the night stuff
So
together
much
yet.
noise, yeah.
Yeah.
Of course,
Sony,
Pro
yeah,
Camera,
Pro Camera.
way better for that. And we got a standard
Ooh.
shot of a different object here. We got a little bunny.
They both look really, really good.
Yeah, I'll
They
say
look
I was
very
surprised by
similar.
how good the bokeh is. Whichever one is fake, I actually don't even remember.
So
They look- yeah, the
so
bokeh is like
close.
Like, how do you
man.
get bokeh that's that realistic looking?
Yeah, they must research all the time. It's crazy. Yeah, I'm gonna go with the right. If you look at the close details, there's so much more of this texture pops out here. Yeah, I'm choosing this one. Yeah.
I'm going with the left.
All right, Vadim loves the
Wow.
iPhone at night.
iPhone.
I think the
at
bokeh
that
looks
detail.
better. The
Looks
fake bokeh looks
good.
better.
Yeah.
The detail, yeah, that night mode
Wow.
portrait capability,
That's really good.
which only the Pro
Wow.
has, is great. And we have a shot here.
Interesting. Interesting. I mean, it's the one on the left easily. I mean, look how nice
Yeah.
that looks. You have the depth of field. You have all the bokeh balls.
They really stand out.
And of course, that is the Pro Camera. Now, this was supposed to be a portrait shot, and I guess for some reason the iPhone just couldn't pull it off.
Really?
It looked like it showed the blur was gonna kick in, but you just can't do portrait. You cannot get an image like this where you're far away and you still get blur. You have to be much closer and you get that distortion. And this is a 3X. It's crazy, it was pitch black, crazy situation here.
Really? I mean, the one on the right
Yeah.
is obviously better. Look at it. Like, look at all the detail in Noah, Emily. It doesn't have all that smearing. One on the right.
Pro camera
Camera.
once again. Yeah, and this image actually, I probably spent about 5 minutes editing this one image because it looked like
Oh, yeah.
garbage out of the camera, like garbage. I was like, the iPhone's gonna smoke
Spend a
it.
ton of time.
But once you do a lot of work, you have a lot to work with there. And this is our last one, ultra wide shot here at night.
It's crazy to me how similar they are. Like all of these photos, because if they were taken with like the 12 instead, there'd
It's
be
crazy.
a much much bigger difference. A lot of these are almost identical.
I have to go like super close up. Yeah, I'm choosing the one on the left because if you look at these little bushes here, this is completely blacked out right here.
Yeah,
you actually have some texture coming out.
And the stars stand out more, but they're almost like the same photo to me.
Pro Camera.
Pro Camera.
All right, guys, that is the last shot. So go ahead and count up what you guys got. How often did you choose the Pro Camera, or how often did you choose the iPhone? We want to hear your guys' opinions. We'll wait just a second longer, you guys. Go ahead and vote. And now let's go first with Vadim.
Alrighty, so I got 25 for the Pro Camera and 11 for the 13 Pro.
So you're saying that 11 times out of that whole amount that we had, the iPhone actually tricked you and did better than a $5,500 setup.
It actually gave us a better
which is insane. And what about you, Angelica?
I got 30 for the Pro Camera and 6 for the iPhone.
Wow.
But honestly, a lot of those were like
very close.
very close. So close enough that I wouldn't even choose one over the other.
And we do these a lot.
Yeah,
oh, yeah.
We do these a lot. We know what to look for. And as the person taking these images and making them look their best, coming into this, I thought the iPhone would get smoked. I literally thought the iPhone would look much worse in so many of these shots when I was taking them. I'm like, this is a crazy situation. But it didn't look that much worse. They were kind of close. And in the cases at night mode, I was just shocked by how much better the iPhone looked. And with a lot of editing, I got the Sony photos to look close to as good as the iPhone.
Lots of editing.
Compared to pressing one button and waiting and you're done. So
he spent a full day.
I spent a lot of
editing
time
all the photos.
And yeah, I'm more of an iPhone believer now than I was before, which is crazy. So we want to hear your guys' opinions. What were your thoughts? Once again, go ahead and check out the Anker 511 charger, their Nano Pro. We have the links down below. Thank you, Anker, for working with us, even though we've been recommending you guys anyways for years. So you guys can click above to subscribe to help us reach our goal of 1 million subscribers. That would be amazing. Check out one of the great videos right over there. This has been Max,
Angelica,
and Vadim.
And we'll see you in the next video.